Pops, every single week we are coming back with another story about how Asian automakers are struggling with new car production. The latest breaking news from Honda Corporation, Dad. What the heck is going on here?
Apparently in Japan, Honda is going to be cutting their production moving forward by as much as 40% at some of their plants, or at one of the plants, and 30% at another plant, all due to supply chain issues caused by, heat and drought in China. My God, there are no climate issues. Okay, just so you should know, there are no climate issues. It's just impacting manufacturing because they have to conserve electricity in China.
Now, Honda, as we know, Dad, has been struggling more than many of their peers. Their sales for the last quarter were down precipitously, especially relative to the U.S. automakers. This is now a theme that we are seeing. Toyota recently came out and said that the supply channel issues that they're facing and generally like the car shortage, that's not going away for at least another year. We've seen Subaru with historically low days supply of inventory. You've got to expect here, Dad, that what's going on at Honda will also have ripple effects with the other automakers as well.
Oh, absolutely. This is impacting Mazda as well, but this is, for Honda to follow in the footsteps of Toyota and admit that there's an issue, a real supply chain issue. And this late in the year, going into the 9th month of production, say, hey, we're going to have to cut production at that one plant by 40%. That's a huge deal. I mean, they're having great difficulty in maintaining inventory levels domestically. And by domestically, that would be in Japan. Now, internationally, they're having a real tough time here in the United States as well. And a lot of their vehicles that are sold in the States are produced in North America, specifically in Ohio. But even with that, you can see, I think you pulled something up that shows their inventory's down almost 85% from where it had been a year ago.
Well, a couple years ago, Pops, April of 2020 versus August of 2022. This data comes from 4Eyes, great information that they provide. And you can see the disparity across Asian automakers. Honda's inventory levels are down 84.4% from kind of the initial pandemic to where we are today. Subaru inventory levels, Dad, down 75.7%. Toyota inventory is only down 60.2%, and Mazda inventory is down just 41.9%. So you can start to see who's faring well and who's faring poorly, and Honda has struggled the most of all of their peers.
Yes, and if you want to say one thing about Toyota, even though their inventory levels down 60%, well, truth be told, probably 95 to 98% of their incoming inventory to their dealers is spoken for, has reservations on them, have deposits on them, are pre-sold. So the amount of on-hand inventory for immediate delivery is truly at probably the lowest number it's ever been at.
Yeah. Now we're waiting on, we'll get updated quarterly numbers from Honda relatively soon. But for the most recent quarter we have, Honda sales were down 23% year over year, Dad. And if we look at it, their incentives have fallen precipitously as well. The average incentive on a new Honda is down 51%. That's between their Honda and Acura brands. For Honda, incentives are now $979, down 52% year over year. They used to be $2,032 on a Honda. Over $5,000 used to be the incentives you would get on an Acura. Now just $2,672. An average transaction price at Honda, Dad, for the most recent quarter that we have data, we're up 16% quarter over quarter to $36,824. And for some perspective here, the average transaction price increase at Toyota for the most recent quarter was just 5%. I know I'm saying just 5%, which is still huge, but you can see Honda has struggled most of their peers, and their average transaction prices increased the most of their peers.
Simply because of supply and demand. There's still a demand for Hondas, and the supply is truly limited, and the dealers are able to ask for and get additional dealer markups, which significantly impact the average transaction prices.
Yeah, they really do. Now, just pulling it up on the screen pop so you can see as well. Wait times. We went through to the experts on our team and asked them, hey, you're working with the community, you're hearing what the wait times are. About 4 to 6 months is going to be your wait time if you're trying to buy a new Honda. And yes, you absolutely can find Hondas at MSRP. You can also find Hondas well above MSRP. Check out websites like markups.org or the community forum, join yaa.com/community. But 4 to 6 months is what you're looking at waiting for a Honda. Obviously, if it's going to be, I should say, obviously, if it's a hybrid powertrain, expect to wait a little bit longer.
Absolutely. And it's just, as I said the other day, this is just a way to get they're training consumers to get used to the fact that you're not going to be able to go into a dealership and find a car in stock to buy. You're going to have to pre-order or reserve an allocated unit, and you're going to have to wait for it. And that will be your new normal.